Hi guys, it's Ms. Perkins here. Today we're going to be talking about Module 1, Lesson 9. In this lesson, we're talking about being able to solve addition word problems by drawing and writing equations, which we know equations is like a number sentence. So now, looking at this word problem, we know that our word problems, we read the word problem 3 times. And we use a strategy called cubes, which means we have to circle those important numbers, underline the question, box in any clue words. We have to evaluate, which means think about what steps we can take, and then solve. Now, looking at this, before we even do cubes, we're going to read it twice. So, and then on the third time we read it, we'll start using that cubes. So it says Lee has 5 apples. Anne has 5 apples. How many apples do they have now? So now I'm going to read it again. Lee has 5 apples. Anne has 5 apples. How many apples do they have now? So now we're going to read it again. Okay, and this time we're going to circle those numbers while we're reading. So in that, Lee has 5 apples and Anne has 5 apples. How many apples do they have now? So we know. Now we're going to underline the question because we circled the numbers. Now we're going to underline the question. The question, we know we found that question mark, and that's what's behind it. It's what's behind it right before you see the next period. So now our question is, how many apples do they have now? So we have to box in clue words. So we know that Lee has 5 apples. We have to figure out Lee has 5 what? 5 dogs, cats, mice. What do they have? Well, we know that Lee has 5 apples. We know that Anne has 5 apples. How many apples do they have now? We're going to box that in as well. So we're going to think about how are we going to solve this? Well, we know that Lee has 5 apples. And Anne has 5 apples. That's how many apples do they have now? Okay, that means whenever they put these apples together, how many apples do they have now? Okay, well, let's figure this out. We have 2 boxes that we're going to use to draw in. I'm going to put Lee's apples in one box, Anne's apples in another. I'm going to put an L on top of one box for Lee and an A on top of another box for Anne, because that's what their names start with. So I'm going to put 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And Anne has 5 as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm going to write the actual number 2 so we don't forget. This is 5 for Lee and 5 for Anne. So now, let's do a number sentence. Remember, we know that these are our 2 parts. Lee's apples and Anne's apples are our parts because we're going to put them together to figure out our whole. Remember, for addition, whenever we're adding those 2 parts, we try to make those numbers as happy as we can. We know to make them happy, they need to be hugging that plus sign. So we know that 5 plus 5 equals mystery box. We have to figure that out, right? Well, let's just count them all together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we know that 5 plus 5 equals 10. All right, guys. That is it for this video.